Now, Pope Francis is in Western Canada at the start of a 6-day visit that'll focus on the Roman Catholic pontiff's contrition for abuse suffered by Indigenous children at residential schools in the past. The Pope arrived at Edmonton Airport in a wheelchair. There'd been concerns his health had delayed the trip, which he's called a penitential pilgrimage. As recently as 1996, the Catholic Church in Canada ran schools where many tens of thousands of Indigenous children, often taken far from their families and communities, were forced to forget their cultures and languages. Abuse was rife and thousands of children died. The Pope is here to say, or is there rather, to say sorry, but there are calls for much more in the way of action.
I believe that's one of the reasons he's here, is because our people were, a lot of stuff was taken away from us, and we were put into schools. Like, I know my father was put into residential schools, so was my mother. I think it means a lot to us that a lot of us are making the commitment to come, and it's not just to hear the apology, it's to hear the Mass. It's like, that's my big thing, is the Mass. The apology has occurred on a couple of occasions already, but yes, it means much to him to do it in person. But I've just I think I'd be more committed to our faith and with him coming too.
And I would pray that everything would just go well with the healing process of the people, and they would kind of get the grace of the Pope coming here, the presence, even just the presence, to be around and.
Well, for more on the Pope's visit to Canada, I'm joined now by Father Susei Jesu, who is the parish priest of Sacred Heart Church of the First Peoples in Edmonton, Canada. It's the only designated Indigenous church in Canada. And I want to thank you very much indeed for joining us, Father. What's the feeling among Indigenous people to religion and the Catholic Church in particular?
There is a joyful mood in Canada. Surely for us as a Sacred Heart Church, it's a unique, welcoming and Indigenous national parish. And there's lots of joyful and happy, and people are getting ready to come in. So lots of preparation has gone in. And I'm so happy that these days I was able to speak to so many people, and they're all excited in coming, and they're just getting ready. And currently, Pope Francis is delivering apology. I was just listening as just a few minutes ago, and still continues.
Yes, and we're actually looking at live pictures of the Pope there delivering an address. But just, I understand that he is scheduled, or has already, I'm not sure, visited the church that you are the parish priest of. How significant is that?
It is very significant, because in this city alone, you have 85 Indigenous people living in here. And our service to Indigenous and non-Indigenous is a very unique one. This is a Macaulay area where lots of homeless people, lots of less fortunate ones, and other challenges, particularly this pandemic has brought in. So we serve our Indigenous, non-Indigenous lunches and clothing and so many things. And therefore, this is very particular, and that's what Pope Francis loves, and that's what we are doing, to reach out to those who come to us, and also those who are not able to come, but we reach out to them, whatever they need. It's a kind of service-oriented. The outreach ministry is standing outstandingly unique to this parish.
And the Pope, of course, says his visit to Canada is a pilgrimage of penance, and he hopes to heal the wrongs done to thousands of children in what's been described as cultural genocide. I mean, is he likely to succeed in that?
Well, he has, in his speech, as I was hearing, he has accepted that the cultural heritages and, Indigenous spirituality was taken away, and now we are, bringing it back, as he addressed April 1st, that they have anchored themselves as a root into, and they're very strong and resilient. And that's unique to our Sacred Heart Church. We are bringing back to TP, medicine wheel, and smudging and drumming, everything you will see today. So it is a penitential a trip for him, and we are welcoming him, that we want to be one with him in his journey of pilgrimage, that and we want to be with him as the only sole purpose of healing and reconciliation with Indigenous people. And that's why most of our participants today, out of 270, will be the Indigenous, and particularly all those residential school survivors that we were able to get from city of Edmonton, also from Saddle Lake, from Cold Lake, from neighboring cities.
And Pope Francis, of course, as the head of the Catholic Church, bears historic and symbolic responsibility for what happened in those Catholic-run residential schools, doesn't he?
Yes, definitely. I'm from India. I can simply say I have nothing to do. No, I cannot say that. I am part of a Catholic Church this time, and therefore that's where he is a chief shepherd, and that's what the Truth and Reconciliation Commission proposed. One of the recommendations that Pope Francis comes to this land and apologizes, which is happening. So even myself being Indian, I just had to identify myself as any other priest who have served or who have not served. And therefore, I asked also apology. And I did so for many years. And when I felt if it happened to my family, how would I feel? Would have been hurt. So therefore, I'm not escaping in any way justifying. I am part of in this apology.
Yeah, but beyond the apology, what more do you think needs to be done to heal the wounds following all those years of abuse?
So since my coming, while Pope was preparing to come, we have began teaching Cree language, Dene languages. And myself with the elders, we started teaching Indigenous spirituality. What is the meaning of drums? What are the significance of drumming? What is the medicine wheel teaching? And what's a smudging? What is a sun dance? All these things we started teaching here at Sacred Heart Church at the basement. Since the last 2 years pandemic, we couldn't do that. So Pope has come, apologized, but that's not enough. We are, as a parish council, outreach ministry, finance committee, sitting together as to what we need to do more in terms of reconciliation action. So that's our focus, is to how we can bring back all those who have been hurt, who have stuck themselves. There are so many others who have moved into reconciliation and healing. So that is our focus after Pope Francis will leave our precious land.
So where does the Pope go after visiting Edmonton, and what sort of reception do you expect he's going to get as he travels across the country?
So to the reception, you mean at Sacred Heart Church?
I said that after he's visited Edmonton, after he's left your city, he's expected to travel to other parts of the country. What sort of reception do you expect that he's going to get as he travels through the country?
I think overall, people are very happy to welcome him. And I can say I'm sitting here in Edmonton. I am not sure the mood in Quebec City. He's also going to St. Anne d'Aubrey, because that is something that Indigenous people have a special devotion, honor for the grandparents of Jesus. And therefore, I'm sure his reception, he's a humble man, and he receives whatever it is. He in humiliation, in humbleness, he accepts whatever people offer him. So equal of it is also going there. I'm sure just the way it is happening here, I'm sure that he's a humble servant of the Lord. And just looking at him, people that in my knowledge here, looking at him with the physical illness or whatever he has, mobility issue, yet he's coming and being with us, and his presence, just presence, and his words bring lots of healing and blessings on all of us.
Father, I want to thank you very much indeed for taking the time to talk to us, especially whilst the Pope was visiting. Father Susei Jizu is the parish priest of the Sacred Heart Church of the First Peoples in Edmonton, Canada, and it's the only designated Indigenous church in Canada.